Alright, everybody, welcome back to part 3, Breath of the Wild, etc., etc. Alright, so we just got shrine number 2, something's targeting us, it's another guardian. These guys never let up. They've only got like one thing in their life, and that's to hunt me down. I think that's pretty much their whole existence, is to just do that one thing, so. They are super excited that I'm around again. This is their whole life, anyway. Okay, we are headed towards the next shrine. I don't remember there being anything over there. Let me go check these big trees real quick. I kind of want to see. I never spent a whole lot of time in the trees, and unless I knew that there was something there. And there's oh, look here. There's a thing. Bird egg. A fresh bird egg necessary for making dishes such as omelets and crepes. Crepes. You can crepe it. You can snag them for bird's nests if you are sneaky. Nutritious and delicious, perfect for cooking. Now these are some pretty big bird eggs when you think about it. I don't remember there being a whole lot of birds that are big enough to put this egg out and not try and fight me to the death. So I'm not 100% sure where these come from, but they're good eating. Anyway. So yeah, bird egg. My needs for treetop exploration have been quelled for the moment, and now we're gonna go head for this other shrine. There's not actually, there's something in between that I need to do. I can get rid of... oh yeah, so once you get on top of a mark, it disappears, which is kind of handy, because otherwise it would just be there all the time. Now if you want, you can do... Can I do this yet? I can do stamps. Stamps will be there forever. There are only... You can only put 100 stamps out at a time, which seems like a lot, but then you start stamping stuff and it doesn't last at all. So I usually save them for something super important. You can... I mean, anyone can have their own system. My personal system is... these guys are for taluses, which is a particular kind of like mini sub-boss, whatever you want to call it. It's a big monster, and it gives you gems whenever you beat it. And then I use skulls for the... Well, I had been using them for the Cyclops guys, whose name is... I can never remember their names. They are called Hinox. I can never remember that for some reason. Hinox. I've seen people use the pots for them because they're fat, but anyway. And then these arrows I usually put down for Lionels, which are awesome. But anyway, stamps last forever. So unless you take them off, then you know you can do whatever you want with them. It's your map. You can play with it however you want. So it's daytime now, and it's 5:25 p.m. according to the in-game thing. Every second of real life time is 1 minute of game time. So that means your 24-hour game day equates to 24 minutes of real life time. So just a little tidbit of knowledge. Every hour is marked by a different tick on the bottom of the what looks like weather stuff. So you've got your sunshine. To the far right, you can see clouds. You'll see like rain and thunderstorms and snow and other stuff on there. So it gives you an idea of what you're doing. Because like whenever it's raining, you can't climb stuff as well, nearly as well. It's pretty sad. Unless you've got the stamina for it, it's pretty much useless to do that. Okay, so here's an interesting opportunity. We got 2 bokoblins, standard bokoblins. But behind them, if you can see that, that is a beehive. Bokoblins don't wear clothes. I don't need that. Go higher. There's not as much range on these. There it is. Just watch this. Ah, they're not happy. So it kind of got him out in a way. You can see the other one went back and got his weapon. So they didn't start out with a weapon. He's gonna shield. I've only got my spear. So when he's shield, I can't really do any damage. But if I do attacks in a certain sequence, like a regular sequence, if I make sure that he's not shielding, then I can hit him. There's my shield back. Let's use this arm for a little while. Do I have anything that I can get rid of? I don't think so. I think I'll just hold on to it. Oh, so I've got bombs now, which opens up a whole bunch of opportunities. Let's get this coarser bee honey. This is cool for a lot of various recipes. Need honey, and they're not super common. You know where they are. Like, you know, I can come back here in a couple of days and there'll be another one here, but still, it's not like they're everywhere. So you kind of want to hold on to those. Bombs, great, fantastic. See those crates before? Now they're gone. And there's stuff in them. Acorns, meat. You'll find arrows and rupees and all sorts of cool stuff in these crates. And I couldn't really do anything to them before I got the bomb. So bombs are fantastic. Just love bombs. Also, if I don't want to use my axe, bam, tree dead, tree gone. And then I do another one after it cools down. Bam, wood. No axe required. No durability problems. Infinite axe durability for the... Now it's slower, obviously, because you got to wait for the cooldown. But it's super handy. The downside to a lot of that is that if there's like apples on that tree, they're gonna get blown away. You can still find them, but they're gonna be way far away from where you are. A lot of time. My luck in general, they tend to go pretty far away. So if I need something, if I need to collect pieces off of it, except for wood, then I usually just knock it down the old-fashioned way. No, see? All I had to do was look down there with this on, and I knew that it's not metal. It's pretty handy. Oh, look, there's a cabin in the woods. This is always good. Has this ever been not a good thing? Just finding a random ramshackle cavern or cabin in the middle of the woods? Got a whole bunch of stamina shrooms. It's dark now, so I should find... they're not out yet. I'll find them later. Hey, look, there's a guy. I know that guy. It's the only other guy that exists in this world. Oh, a pot lid! Yes! I needed that. It can take quite a beating before breaking. Yeah, okay. It's a good starter shield. it's a shield. It's a good starter shield. Hey, old man. So we meet again. What are you doing? This body of mine isn't what it used to be. What work have you been doing? If you're hungry, I have an empty pot that you can use to cook yourself a meal. Grab hold of your ingredients and toss them in. Consider how the ingredients will complement one another. You can even make a dish to increase your stamina. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah. He's so helpful. He's not going to give you anything, but he's going to help you out a little bit. Now, if I talk to him... no, nothing else. So, yeah, you can sleep. You can rest at campfires and pots like that. Spicy peppers. Okay, we haven't talked about these yet. So you can eat these directly to get your health back, or you can cook them and you get some temperature, cold temperature protection, which it's kind of handy because we're about to. Well, you can't really see it from here. If you go really high up or into certain regions that are just naturally cold, you're gonna die. With your standard gear, your standard kit, it's gonna be bad. I got another woodcutter's axe. I don't really need it. I've got an axe. It's working just fine. Get a spicy pepper. I don't need the axe. I could sleep there if I want to. I don't really want to. Got an apple and a shroom. Just take everything you can, unless you have a reason not to. Like the axe. I've already got an axe, and it's in good condition, and I don't need another inventory slot taken up. Because axes are not super great for fighting. It's the old man's diary. Naturally, we want to read it. He's right outside, so let's invade his privacy as much as possible. He's not going to tell us anything. The only pleasure that brings me comfort is cooking. And today I outdid myself. I created the perfect dish. I call it spicy meat and seafood fry. Keeps me warm. I no longer have need of my itchy, warm doublet. So that's kind of important. So they did highlight this. So it kind of gives you that it's important to you, basically. The warm doublet is important to you. So you keep going. And somehow he forgot his favorite recipe. And he knows it contained meat and spicy pepper, but he can't remember what else. And it's called the meat and seafood. So you can probably guess what needs to be in it. If I found someone who knew the missing ingredient, I would happily reward them with my warm doublet. So there you go. That is this is kind of a sub quest, a side quest, if you want to. It is not going to show up on your in your quest catalog, in your adventure log, this thing. It's not going to show up here. It's just one of those little random things that you hear about and you can work on. And there's several of those in this game, and it's pretty cool to whenever you get something out of it that's worthwhile like this. But we'll get there in a minute. I need to get up there first. So, oh, there they are. I was wondering when they were going to come out. So it's nighttime. So we get these pretty little lightning bugs called sunset fireflies. And this is you can create or use these in Elixir to move more quietly. So that's another thing where it's a stealth buff. So your sound waves are lessened by having that elixir. More importantly, I guess more importantly is relative, but they've got there's a quest that requires several of these, and then there's an upgrade to my personal favorite, one of my personal favorite armor sets that needs several of these. So it's just good to hold on to them whenever you get them. The apples. See, I could have knocked it down with the bombs, but I didn't because I wanted the apples. And since I already had the axe out, there's no sense in not getting it for this. Do I want to do this now? Kind of. Let's see if I can sneak in there and take everybody out. I got my arm. So it's night, so they're all asleep. It's not given that they're all going to be asleep. This guy right here, he's your scout. He's vigilant even though it's nighttime. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this and put it in his head. Oh shit. Now, did I get it fast enough? I did not get it fast enough. See, he blew on that horn, and everybody else was alerted to my presence. Otherwise, I could have gone in and snuck him. And realistically, I could have just gone in behind him and taken care of it. But, I gotta stop doing that. I'm gonna try and do one of... There we go. See that? That's what we call a deflect, a perfect guard. If you deflect it, so you've got your shield up with L, ZL technically. He just picked up his dead buddy's shield because he needs it for stuff. Yeah. The timing's like pretty significant. See, that was a power move. You can't deflect that. There's no. But what you can do is this. You can jump to the side and then it's a perfect dodge. Which it basically lets you get in a flurry of attacks because it's all slow motion and stuff. So those are super handy. That's kind of what I was this thing, the counter. I'm gonna call it a counter. that is what I was trying to do to the Guardian laser, because you can actually deflect their laser back at them, and it is super cool when it works, but I am not very good at it. And it basically destroys. If you leave yourself open, if your timing is super wrong, then you get a full taste of that laser and you die. If your timing's a little bit off, then your shield just destroys itself. I don't think I can reflect these. I think they're too fast. I'm just gonna go up and beat him until he's dead. Okay, so I killed everybody in camp. You get that music, and then you get this. Some of these camps have these skull chests, and they're purple until you kill everybody in camp, and then they go white like this, and you can open them. You can't open them until everybody's taken out. Throwing spear. So this is cool because it's designed to be thrown. So you've got, let me see. I guess you don't have it. So because it's a different style, it's just inherent to the design that it's better for throwing. I guess I could try it out. Let's get on the ground so I know what I'm doing. No. On the ground. There we go. Okay, so we're gonna go over here and we're gonna take this regular traveler's spear and we're gonna throw it, I don't know, let's center on this rock-ish. And then we're gonna take this throwing spear and we're gonna center on this rock-ish. And so this is our traveler's spear, and this is our throwing spear. So it's not like it's ridiculous, and realistically, I don't have a good reason to be throwing stuff all the time. But it does give you 2 times the damage, and being able to attack things from a ways away is good. So it's personal preference is what it is. If you want to be throwing stuff, this is one of your better guys for that. There's a much better guy for that we'll get to later. They're pretty cool, but they're a little tricky. Blow everything up. Always take everything you can from everywhere. You never know when something's going to be handy. Eventually, you might get bored with it, and you're like, I've already got 10,000... I'm exaggerating, 10,000 arrows, and I definitely don't need to be picking up onesie-twosie arrows all over the place. That's fair. But if you get bored, you can just switch in between bombs, and then you don't have to worry about cooldown as much. Oh cool, I got some more honey. With no bees. And a chest. There's oh, bomb arrows. Yes, we love bomb arrows. Bomb arrows are just amazing. There are not very many of them, and they're expensive. I mean, it's not like it's a limited quantity or anything, but you're not going to find as many of these in the wild as you will regular arrows or really any other kind of arrow. But they blow stuff up, and it's very satisfying, and it's a great item to have for any boss fight that you want to go into and just decimate them from a long ways away. Now again, they're bombs, so they can kill you if you're too close. Rushrooms! Mushroom that can grow almost anywhere but prefers clinging ceilings and sheer cliffs. I've never actually seen it on a ceiling before, but you can't really get on ceilings, so that would make sense. Increases your movement speed. It's also kind of addictive. It's like something else. Anyway. Okay, so we're going to the shrine. We just took that camp out to get those chests and the stuff. Hello. This is a bird. I have a reason for doing this, so don't freak out on me. Drumstick. Okay, I think this will work. If not, I have another way of doing this, but I think this will work this way. Crap, he's gone. Let me wait until night. I want him to come back. I want him to be here and see this. See what I have created before his very eyes, so he knows for sure that it was me. It was I that did this to him. 9 o'clock, that's when... Okay, so morning is usually 6 o'clock, I think. Noon is noon. Night is 9 o'clock. So if you want to pass the time, if it's raining or something and you just want to wait it out, this is a great way to do that. So he is looking for something that's got seafood in it, something that's got meat in it, which is over here because it's new, and a spicy thing. And that's it. Let's see if this cooks up to what I want it to be. Spicy meat and seafood fry. Oh, yes. Ah, fantastic. And then... dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun. I cooked something. Look at this. It's so amazing. I just pulled that whole, like, sloppy bowl of stuff that's mostly goo out of my pocket. My pockets are not very clean. It looks like my signature perfect dish, spicy meat and seafood fry. But how did you know? Clairvoyance? Maybe? Instinct? What was that other third thing you told me to bullcrap about? I suppose that's not important. Can I trouble you to share the secret? It's called meat and fish and spicy things. It's all in the name. Hyrule Bass. How could I have forgotten? Well done. Please allow me to blah, 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 blah. This is warm doublet. Warm doublets are nice. They're the same armor, but sturdy fabric and thick gloves are great at retaining body heat. So there's your cold resistance. This is the first piece of armor that you get that has elemental resistance. Now it's not like ice resistance. So it's not like if you get into a fight with an ice elemental with an ice whiz robe or something like that, you're still going to take that damage. But environments, it will resist the environment effect. So yeah, let's put that on. Ta-da! So cool. So you can see, I'll go back, unequip. So you can see my little temperature thing underneath my stamina gauge. There's the same amount on the blue as the orange. And then if I put this doublet on, the blue goes down. So as long as I'm not in that blue, that means that I'm safe. I can be on, in a chilly area, but as long as I'm not in that blue, then I'm okay. So the really, really cold spots, I'm still gonna see some problems, but for normal, like just a little bit higher or just a little bit colder kind of stuff, you're gonna be fine. Underneath it, you see the buffs that I've got on. So that's your cold resistance, level 1 cold resistance. There's 2 levels of cold resistance on this before it maxes out. It's the same way on heat resistance on the other side. You can get 2 levels, and then if you get a 3rd level, you get like the superpower. But we'll get that. We'll hit that later. So I'm on fire. That's good. All good things are on fire. Okay, we're gonna get to this third shrine, and then we're gonna beat it, and that's probably gonna be where we end for this one. So we need to get over here. See, there's a shrine way up there, and we need to get over this chasm. And you're like, but dude, there's like death down there. How do we do this? How do we do this? So this is one of those cool little things that they designed into this game where, I could try and jump over or catch onto the side. If I had my paraglider, I could probably just jump and that would be it. But instead, we're going to do this. Look, see, in real life, that could happen. You just chop down a tree in the right direction, and it becomes a bridge for you. And it's just sitting there. Also, we got a leaf. Korok leaf. These are super handy in some very specific scenarios. Otherwise, they are useless. So, I want to hold on to it just because at this stage, there's really no reason not to hold on to it. I've got plenty of good things. and they're fun. In certain circumstances, they're fun. So it's good to have it. They basically, so they do this. I'll show you after I get to this other side. So they do this. See, they create air. So it'll knock back people. And if you're like, if something's on fire, you can fan it and make it more on fire. If you're on a boat, something that can move in the water, you can use this as like a motor to power yourself in the other direction. There's a couple of really cool uses for it. In general, I like to hold on to one of these and one of the torches. I have since kind of fallen away from holding on to torches as much, just because my shield is badly damaged, my butt. It's always badly damaged. Just because I've found other ways to mess with, or to carry fire and stuff. But if it's really important and you really need a torch, more often than not, the game will supply you with a torch somewhere close. So you don't really have to go looking for one. It's just one of those personal preferences of mine. These guys are asleep. It's the middle of the night. They're so sleepy. They just fell down where they were standing. Just so, so it's so nice whenever they don't fight back. It wouldn't be a fun game, but hey, look, I got a spear. This is not as good as the other spear that I have, the other 2 spears that I have. So I'm not going to pick it up. Just like this this club. There's no reason for me to do that. Oh my goodness, what is this? It's so ominous and breaky. Bomb. Got me a chest of fire arrows. This is another arrow type. This one doesn't have any extra damage, but it's this thing sets stuff on fire. So the cool thing about, there's fire arrows, there's ice arrows, and there's shock arrows. So fire arrows and ice arrows, if you are fighting something of the opposing element, so if you are using a fire arrow on an ice elemental, like an ice wizrobe or something, it kills them with 1 hit, which is really handy because ice wizrobes in general are a pain in the butt if you don't take them out real fast. They can be a serious pain in the butt. Look at all these apples. They're just hanging out, waiting for me to chop down the street. So many beautiful apples. And they last forever in your inventory. It's like one of those special storage containers that only exist in myth and legend. Okay, so I need to get way the hell up there. And in any other game, any other Zelda game, you wouldn't be able to do that. This one, you can just do it. Now, this is one of those early stages where I don't have any stamina to spare. I could have cooked some stamina stuff up to help me out here, but I don't need to. It's just going to take me a little bit longer. See, if I would have just... If you crawl, or if you just climb normal, it doesn't take nearly as much stamina, so you can just keep doing it. Whereas if you jump, then it takes a ton of stamina. And so in the early stages, you really have to just climb. You can't really be jumping around too much. I need to get way over here to that ledge before I fall off. Pretty sure I can do it. Pretty sure I have the capability. See, I'm not even halfway there. If I would have jumped, it would have been 2 jumps and I would have been out. That's it. It's over. But climbing like this is fine. There are ways in this game to make climbing more efficient, and you get a buttload more stamina. So this isn't a problem late game, but early game it's really annoying. But it makes you appreciate it. And you don't like abuse the power too much. So slow. Climbing. More. Get some shrooms. These are important later. There's a quest. Guy needs a ton of these things. they're actually pretty handy for other stuff too. There's at least one armor set that I know of that needs these for upgrades. We'll get to all that later. All the fun stuff, the crazy stuff, the infinite possibilities happen a little bit later in life. So slow. Wait till I get all the way up. There's a technique here. You can't do it on this one because this wall is pretty sheer, but on a lot of the other ones that are have a decent grade to them, but they're not like what I'm looking at on the right-hand side of my screen there. You can climb up a little bit, and then you can stop. And as long as you're not in a position where, like, there's nothing underneath you, usually you can just sit there for a little while. So you can climb, and then stop. And then, oh, you know what? I want to do this first, just in case. Turn on the shrine. See, there's something, this boulder over here is calling my name. But just in case something weird happens, I want to set up the shrine so I've got that fast travel point. So look, there's a boulder there, and there's a chest underneath it. And it's not a metal chest, and it's not a metal boulder, so I can't move that way. And I don't think I can do this. Yeah, I can't move it. So what I need is actually in here, which is good. Because I will be able to get that here in a second. This is going to be epic. This is not going to be epic. This is going to be fun, but the epic stuff happens a little bit later. Welcome to shrine number 4. 1, 2, 3. 3. I can count all the way up to 3. Owa Diam. That sounds like it's something else. Stasis. Stasis is really cool. And it gets, you can do a lot of fun stuff with stasis. You can do a lot of fun stuff with all this stuff. But the basics of stasis is that it stops the time of whatever you're pointing at. Which is mostly a puzzle thing. But it has this cool little physics thing that I'm not 100% sure if it would exist in real life, assuming we could stop the time of something in real life. But it will store, it stores its kinetic energy, which is really cool, because you can do some extra stuff with that. So, let's use it for this. So, you turn it on, it's kind of like your magnet, where it makes everything a funny color, and then it highlights a handful of things. So I can stop that time of that gear for a little while, and then get over to the side. And then if I hit it again, it stops it. And if I wait until it stops by itself, I have to do the full cooldown. If I stop something and then start it back up really quick, I don't have as much of a cooldown. So like that, and then that again. See, I don't have like a quarter of the cooldown I was supposed to. So, do this, and do this. And can we make it all the way before we die? That stone falling on top of you is a bad deal. Traveler's Shield, a sturdy shield loved by many an adventurer. Made from animal hide and sturdy wood, defending against weak monsters or animals. This is what you take up against squirrels, because those guys will mess you up. Always take a shield to a squirrel fight. Oh, and you get one of these too. I love iron sledgehammers. So this is another one of those special items. It's originally used for mining. It works as a weapon. It's got 12 damage, so it's pretty decent. It's a two-handed weapon, so you can, you know, rotate it around whenever you're charging. I'm gonna get rid of the torch. But I usually keep them around specifically for mining stuff. So I don't usually use it unless I have to in a fight, unless it's against a Talus, and we'll talk about that later. What do I have that I can... Let's just use this. Traveler Sword. Oh, wait, no. I need that for this. That's why they left it here. See, this is important. Okay, so that kinetic energy thing that I was saying, this is what you use it for. See, the arrow keeps getting bigger until it gets like red and solid, and then whenever this pops out of time, it just flies like crazy. You would not be able to make it move like that if you hit it normally with a sledgehammer. It barely moves at all. But you store the kinetic energy of multiple hits at the same time, and then you release it all in that instantaneous moment. Instantaneous moment, makes sense. Then you've got all this energy behind it, and you can kind of control where it goes. You could, based on where that arrow is. So if you move to the right, the arrow moves to the left because it's going to be going away from you, basically. So it's kind of cool. There's a handful of things you can do with it. A lot of fun, little random things. Like, remember those boulders that I rolled down on those guys? If the boulders were lower, I could hit this thing. I could hit the boulders with the stasis on it, and it would have a lot more energy. So if those guys weren't as weak as they are, then they would be taken out more easily if I had more power behind it. This is another monk, has another triangle shaped hand configuration. Just to point out random stuff. These are all supposed to be Sheikah, by the way. The monks are. I don't know that they specify that early on. I mean, the temples, they say the temples and the technology Sheikah, so it makes sense that the monks would be Sheikah, but they're definitely Sheikah. This is what I was meant to do before, I couldn't. Iron sledgehammers are great for this, too, because they've got a ton of durability. If I was to use, like, well, the axe is not super great at this. It never came down. It's a star now. But it would either not do very much damage and not move it very far, or it would break the thing. Got me a traveler's bow, kinda. Inventory's full. So if you find something in a chest, it's gonna stay in that chest. So you can come back to this later if you want. I don't tend to do that because, in general, I can usually find stuff. Whoops, didn't mean to do that. I can usually find stuff that's better before I need to come back. I use stuff fast enough and I find stuff fast enough. You will find stuff fast enough. You will always have a ton of things at your disposal unless you're trying to take on like a bunch of monsters at the same time. And then you might go through a bunch of these, but... Okay, so that's number 3 for us. So we will, this is about half an hour standpoint. We will take a break and pick this up on number 4.